MSOE at 6-8. And then Concordia Chicago is also not far behind at 6-9. Marion, Alverno, Rockford, and Illinois Tech, for the most part, are out of the conference tournament race, so we won't even talk about that. But this is a key game for the Lakeland Muskies as they hope to solidify at least a number 6 seed and get in the NAC tournament and keep this season going. So for the remaining schedule in that conference tournament, they have 4 games left after tonight. This Saturday we'll have a doubleheader as Concordia, Wisconsin comes into town. Men will tip off at 2, women at 4:15. And then on February 11th, the key matchup versus Aurora down in Illinois. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. And then on February 15th, the last home game of the season for both men and women will be against Ben U, and also be a doubleheader. Men tipping at 2, women at 4:15. And then they'll finish up the season on February 19th against Illinois Tech. So once again, all those games are key to the Muskies' hopes to gaining that 6th and final spot for the conference playoffs. Other games on the slate tonight. Aurora is out Mount Mary. That's a 6 o'clock start, so that'll be finished by the time I get to the scores at the halftime. Wisconsin Lutherans at Ben U, Dominicans at Edgewood, Alverno at Illinois Tech, and Marion at Rockford. So both teams are going to their respective benches. You can see the Muskies trotting across there in their pink shirts for cancer awareness this month. A couple of the ladies have some very cool looking pink shoes. We'll get to that national anthem. And then the starting lineups.
Moose Dona Woltzen Gymnasium for tonight's Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference matchup between the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders and your Lakeland Muskies. Fans, at this time, we're asking you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
All right. First lineups for the visiting Raiders. At guard, a 5'6" junior from Roy, Michigan, number 2, Brett Graybold. Also at guard, a 5'7" junior from Antioch, Illinois, number 5, Amy Reiser. And at guard, a 5'8" junior from Kewaskum, Wisconsin, number 10, Michaela Doggs. And at guard, a 5'6" sophomore from Taipei, Taiwan, number 24, Wendy Guan. And at guard, a 5'8" sophomore from Economock, Wisconsin, number 34, Danielle Valley. Raiders are coached by Hannah Trees in her first year, assisted by Allison Hawking and Mariah Morton. As we hear the Raiders of the Lost Ark soundtrack playing in the background. Now kicks in the Muskie intro. So for your Lakeland University Muskies, at guard, a 5'6" junior from Crystal Falls, Michigan, number 1, Abby Nyland. Also at guard, a 5'5" senior from Peshtigo, Wisconsin, number 4, Amanda Majewski. At guard, a 5'6" sophomore from Evergreen Park, Illinois, number 20, Casey Gardner. At center, a 6'2" senior from Kenosha, Wisconsin, number 33, Kylie Burkholtz. And at forward, a 6'3" junior from Lake Mills, Wisconsin, number 55, Megan Will. Muskies are coached by Aaron Nestor in his 5th year, assisted by Amber Peterson, Lauren Sharp, Jackie Kreigel, and Jasmine Borgman. So Raiders wearing their red uniforms with the black trim and white lettering. Muskies wearing their home whites with the navy trim and navy lettering, gold trim. Muskies are led in scoring by Megan Will, who's 13.5 points per game, is good for 10th in the conference. She's also 10th in the conference at 6.9 rebounds per game. Shoots 45% from the field for 9th in the conference and 75% from the free throw line, which is good for 6th. Meanwhile, the Raiders are led in scoring by Michaela Doggs at 11.3 points per game. Amy Reiser leads them in rebounds with 7.9 per game, which is good for 8th. We'll get you more of those stats as the game progresses. We're off. Will wins the tip out to Gardner. Gardner's wearing some of those really cool-looking pink shoes I talked about earlier. It's good to see Abby Nyland back in the lineup again after missing a few games for some personal reasons. Oh, a nice dish down to Burkholtz. Thought she should have taken that one. Back out to Nyland for 3. Just a bit short. Guan gets the board. Brings up the floor herself. Yeah, she's basically at the top of the key. Muskies in their zone offense or defense. They're looking to shoot over the top of it. Don't look for the Raiders to do a whole lot of that, as they are 10th in the league with a 25% three-point percentage. They would rather go inside if at all possible. Nyland gives it up to Gardner. They're looking down below. Nice screen there for Majewski. That's going to hit the shot clock. But that's a good look. Muskie's going to pull back on the press just a little bit here, 3/4 versus full court. Get a good trap right there. Guan takes it back on top, kicks it over to Gravold. Down in the court to Reiser. And there's a steal for Gardner, almost a steal. And they're going to say it's off of a Raider. Gardner does come in number 2 in the conference and steals at 3 per game. Janai Farr is number 8 in the conference at 2 per game. And for the Raiders, Reiser is number 3 in the conference at 2.9. So both teams need to take care of that ball. So they keep looking down below. We got the double posts in there. It doesn't happen often. Nyland for 3. That's just a bit short. As Reiser gets that board. Guan gets it, passes up the floor. Passes it out. And there's a 3-point shot for Michaela Doggs. We're going to give Valley the assist. Majewski kicks out to Gardner for 3. That's going to be just a bit off. Will gets that ball, offensive rebound, puts it back in for 2. Grayful's dribbling on the left side of the floor, now switches over back on the top to Guan. She's looking down in the high post area, and they're going to be a quick travel on that. as Valley was a little indecisive there. Gave her a little too much room. Coach Stree's calling for a full court press here. Graybold on Gardner. For the Muskie fans, Graybold should be a familiar name as Britta's sister played here for the Muskies. There's a pass down low. Back out to Nyland, cross-court pass to Gardner. 9 on the shot clock. And Burkholtz misses, but Megan Will got the board. Couldn't quite finish it on the reverse layup attempt. But that is an area that Lakeland needs a little encouragement on, is the rebounding, as they've been out-rebounded by their last couple opponents. Gardner, nice job avoiding the contact there and puts it in for 2. Muskies take their first lead of the game 4-3. Well, we're going to have an inadvertent whistle. Nope, shot clock did not restart. All right, this will allow some substitutions. So checking in for the Muskies, number 14, Haley Walding. Number 23, Janai Farr, and number 40, Morgan Zeno. Walding, a 5'6" sophomore from Bradenton, Florida. Farr, a 5'6" junior from Racine, Wisconsin. And Zeno is a 5'11" sophomore from Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. Raiders looking for that soft spot in the zone. They find it as Valley scores 2, puts the Raiders back up by 1. So in that 2-3, if the top 2 people don't rotate enough, quick enough on that ball's in the air, there is that soft spot in the high post area. If the ladies are willing to pull that trigger. Farr drives and kicks it out to, nice job, Walding for 3. Give Farr the assist. Speaking of assist, Casey Gardner is number 3 in the conference at 3.9 per game. So she has been a team player first this year versus looking for her shot. Not that she won't take it, but a lot of her shots come off the steals she gets. And, okay, Gardner comes up with that one. Cross-court pass to Will. That one can't quite rattle in. Nice box out there by Reiser on Zeno. And we're going to call a jump ball. So that will favor MSOE. Another quick substitution here by Lakeland. As I see number 54, Ellie Felsinger, a 5'11" freshman from Cedar Grove, Wisconsin, checking in for Megan Will. Now the Raiders only suit up 9 players. I expect all of them to play, just to keep the fresh legs. Nice look by Guan down there to Graybold. Oh, a nice little drive there from the right elbow by Reiser. We're all knotted up at 7 apiece, just under 5 minutes here to go in the first quarter. Felsinger looking for the high-low game, down to Zeno, and can't quite get that one to drop, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. And that's going to be on number 5, Reiser. First team, first personal. Zeno makes a first. Once again, look, that's going to be a little bit short. And almost a steal by Gardner. That's going to be enough. She did not touch it, so it's going to be a unforced turnover by MSOE. Janai Farr, nice little wing drive. Oh, I think she would like to have one off the backboard if she could have. Janai Farr also has some of those kind of cool looking pink shoes there. There's a steal by Farr, knocks it over to Felsinger. She grabs, gives up to Gardner. On the errant pass from the deep corner into the mid-post area. And I saw Coach Nestor talking to Felsinger during that free throw, so he was looking at maybe passing angles. Walding off the backboard, nice power drive from the right elbow, baseline drive. Nice job by Walding stopping off the penetration by Dogs. She's going to kick it out to the baseline drive, and nice looking shot also by Valley. Give Dogs the assist. Ellie maintained it. I'm not sure who was, I think that might have been tapped a little bit. Had kind of a weird spin on it. Either way, Grable intercepts it, brings it up the floor, kicks it out to the right corner. That's going to be just a bit short for Dogs. And there's our first Muskie foul of the game. That's going to be on Felsinger. And we're going to see both Megan Will and, excuse me, Kylie Burkholz checking back in. Not too many stoppages so far, kind of an up and down type game. And Valley makes the first one. She comes in shooting just over 55% on the season. And I saw a Raider checking the scores table here. So Valley can make this. That one rattles in and out. Will gets the rebound. We're going to have to take a wait on that substitution for the Raiders. Oh, and there's that Walding knew it. Just a little bit too high over the first hands of Burkholz. And checking in for MSOE is number 12, Lexi Maruga, a 5'11" junior forward from Anamosa, Iowa. Whole state of Iowa in the news this week with their caucuses and how that process works. Very interesting. A little different from a lot of states, but oh, there's a nice block by Will. And Will does come in averaging about 1.8 blocks per game, which is good for 6th in the conference. She's kind of the do-everything person for Lakeland. There's the high-low game. And like I said, they kind of forced out a double team, but Will go to the line and shoot some free throws here. And that's going to be on Maruga, her first, team second. Will at the line to shoot 2. Mentioned earlier, she shoots 75%. Recently, she was overtaken by Janai Farr, who shoots 76.6%, which is good for 5th in the conference. Makes them both, and we should see Amanda Majewski checking back in here for Walding. Muskies lead 12-10. Muskies in a 2-1-2 zone right now, zone press. Easily broken there by the Raiders. A lot of times they'll do a 2-2-1 press. A little more, it depends on who the personnel is on the court at the time. So far, good job moving when the ball's in there. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Grable gonna be a little bit long on that 3-point attempt. Did not hit the rim at all. So 2 seconds on the shot clock. And there's another block by Will. That's going to be a shot clock violation. And Abby Nyland's going to quickly get to the scores table here and checking in for Casey Gardner. See, the officials also have pink whistles tonight. Majewski swings around to Farr on the top for 3. And that one's good. Give Majewski the assist. Muskies have their largest lead of the game at 5. There's a 2-1-2 press again. That time it's tipped by Farr. Will intercepts it. She'll give it up to Nyland. She'll let everybody get center spots out to Farr in the wing. Nothing there at the high post. There's a drive, a little teardrop shot. Will almost gets the rebound, but it is corralled in by Maruga. And kicking it out, and there's going to be a travel on Dogs. Now checking back in for Lakeland, number 40, Zeno. Coach Tree just showing Dogs what she did there, just dragging that pivot foot. And also talking to the officials about it, saying maybe it wasn't a drag, just their shooting stance. Nice drive kick out to the wing corner. And you know what? There's a combination to give. Give Majewski the assist and Janai Farr 3-point bucket. That's going to prompt a quick 30-second timeout here by Coach Trees with just under a minute here to go in the first quarter. And I'd like to invite all Muskie fans watching at home to follow the women's basketball team on their official Twitter account. Search at Muskies WBB. Or if you prefer to follow all Lakeland Athletics on Facebook or Twitter, simply search at LU Muskies. So coming into this game, the Muskies average 56.6 points per game, and the Raiders average 48.2. Now the Raiders have committed 8 turnovers, rated as 2 for the Muskies. They do come in averaging, the Raiders that is, almost 20 per game. So they're almost at that halfway point. We're not even at the halftime yet. So good job by the Muskies forcing those turnovers. Meanwhile, the Muskies average a league second best, only 14.2 turnovers per game. Yep, they're going to get Will with the body on that one. It was a clean block upstairs, but all body downstairs. So going to the line, first, team second. Going to the line is Maruga. And she makes the first. One of two. Ooh. And Dogs gets that offensive rebound. There's no box out. So, oh, and once again, a little indecision there as Reiser travels with it. Yep, Trees is telling her to shoot it. You're getting that close. You got nothing to lose. If anything, just do an up and under move and maybe get Will in the air and get a second foul on her. So about 8-second differential between the shot and the game clock. And oh, a nice little pick and roll. Oh, and Zeno. I didn't see a foul there, but they're going to say a push from behind on Maruga, her second personal. Third team foul. Zeno at the line to shoot a pair of free throws. Can't get that one to drop. You know, Coach Tree's no stranger to playing. If read her bio today on the MSOE website, she played Division I basketball. Oh, that's just barely grazed the front of the rim. Almost a steal by Farr. If she would have used that inside hand, she would have had that steal. It's a longer reach. Oh, that was halfway down and out for Reiser. She would love to have that one back. 6 on the shot clock, or the game clock. We're going to give up to Farr. Farr's going to drive, force something up, and then Will not able to put it down, but a good look. So that's how the first quarter is going to end. Muskies lead 18-11. I see we have some substitutions here for the Raiders. Looks like Casey Gardner's checking back in, so is Haley Walding for the Muskies. And for the Raiders, number 13, Mikhail Miles. And number 34, Danielle Valley. Mikhail Miles is a 5'11" sophomore from Salem, Wisconsin. So after one quarter, the Raiders are shooting 4 of 11 from the field for 36%, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc for 50, and 2 of 4 from the free throw line, also for 50%. Committed 9 turnovers, had 13 total rebounds, and 4 assists. Meanwhile, the Muskies are shooting 6 of 17 from the field for 35.3%, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc for a tick under 43%, and 3 of 6 from the free throw line for 50%. committed just 2 turnovers, had 8 rebounds, and 3 assists as a team. Janai Farr leads all scorers with 6 points. Leading Raider so far is Danielle Valley with 5. This looks like for the Muskies we'll have Zeno, Will, Gardner, Majewski, and Walding. Meanwhile for the Raiders we'll have Graybold, Gawan, Dogs, as I mentioned, Valley, and Miles. Raiders staying in that man-to-man. When they had the high-low there, Megan would have just turned a little bit quicker. Forces up a shot. Guan brings it up the floor for the Raiders. Right down the middle. He's going to pass over to the right to Graybold. Kicks it back to Graybold. Down the low post area. Oh, a nice kick out to number 10, Valley for 3. Or Dogs for 3, I'm sorry. And give Valley the assist. Will's looking for that high-low game. That is in there for Morgan Zeno. Puts it in for 2. Give Will the assist. Again, if it's your first time watching Muskie basketball here, if you're a Raider fan watching, they're going to pretty much zone the entire game and also press the entire game. There's a steal, a turnover. Gardner brings up. Walding gets it, passes back to Majewski, back to Walding, back to Gardner. So there's space down there. They can get into Will. And there's a nice pass to Majewski. Oh! Will gets her own rebound, though, puts it back in. Would have loved to have that first one made and given Majewski the assist, but that was the Moses Malone version where he used to throw it off the backboard to increase his rebounding total. Not that Will did that, but Guan for 3, almost good. There's Will at the rebound, keeps it up high. Now gives up to Gardner. Pass up to Walding. Crossover. He's going to take it stronger to the hole and puts it up in for 2. As the Muskies now have a 10-point lead with 2 minutes elapsed here in the second quarter. And it's a steal by Gardner. Almost a steal. Nope, it's going to be a little scrum. They're going to let him play it out. Raiders pick it up. 8 on the shot clock. Guan's going to have to force something here. And there's a block by Will. Gives it out to Gardner. Looking down to Zeno for the high-low game once again. There's Zeno. Gives Zeno the assist and the bucket for Megan Will. And she'll go line to get an old-fashioned 3-point play attempt here. And that foul is going to be on number 13, Miles. Her first, team's first. And checking in for the Raiders, number 14, Samantha Brown, a 5'5 freshman guard from Antioch, Illinois. And for the Muskies, Ellie Felsinger checks in for Morgan Zeno. And it also looks like we have Kylie Burkholz is going to check in for Megan Will. And there should be the substitution here. So Graybold will inbound Dogs. First line of defense is Gardner and Majewski. In the middle is Walding. So the Raiders doing a nice job of breaking that press. There's a steal by Gardner. Look for her to take this one all the way in. And puts it in for 2. And that's the maturity that Casey Gardner is developed from the freshman year to sophomore year. As last year she was looking back for that defense. Just focus on that rim, get the bucket. If a foul happens, it happens, but get the 2 points. Six on the shot clock. And there's a nice block back by Walding there. And Grable's got to put this one up, and there's a shot clock violation. That defense is doing its job. Checking in for the Muskies, number 23, Farr, and for the Raiders, number 5, Reiser. There's a pass in Walding to Felsinger, and she can't get the drop. Gets her own rebound, though. Tips it out to herself. And there should be a kick by Grable, so it's still going to be Muskie ball. So 13 on the shot clock. Double screen, kick it out to Farr for 3. Give Gardner the assist. This one is slowly getting away. Not even slowly anymore, just getting away from the Raiders. Graybold for 3. Just a little bit off. Burkholz tips it out to a Raider. And she tipped it to Brown, who puts it in for the putback. Graybold almost timed that one out on Gardner. I recall a travel on Gardner. And checking in for the first time for the Raiders, number 50, Alyssa Cazares, a 5'10 freshman forward from Billingbrook, Illinois. So everyone for the Raiders has checked into the game now. And Cazares, cold off the bench, puts one up. Wide open shot. Why not? Might as well try it. Raiders get the rebound back. Cazares passes it down to, just mishandled there by Brown. Berta, 8 on the shot clock. I want to call her Bailey Graybold, sometimes her sister's name, but that would be the wrong uniform. And, a nice save there by Cazares as Graybold picks it up. 22nd goes back on the shot clock. And that one's just a hair off, right out to Farr. She's going to slow this thing up a little bit. There's nothing but Raiders in front of her. A good, smart decision. And Felsinger puts it in for 2 and give a full timeout this time to Coach Trees as Megan Will's going to check back in for the Muskies. And checking in for the Raiders is number 10, Michaela Doggs. So 34-16, 4:23 here to go with the Moose and Dona Woltzen Gymnasium. Looks like Abby Nyland's also checking back in for the Muskies. So last night the men are also in contention for a number 6 seed right now in the men's side of the NAC. I had a nice victory down at Concordia, Chicago. Watched that game. I was grading some discussion boards in my class last night. Just on fire again, once again from deep, and just playing some great unselfish basketball, looking for each other, passing the ball, just good team action. That's going to translate into some good victories. Commenting with Adam Glatzik, our sports information director for the game. I also like the ladies' pink t-shirts they're wearing tonight. They've kind of gotten away from that whole neon color thing the last couple of years that every sports league seems to do. It's just nice to have a soft pastel again. A little easier on the eyes, especially at my age. So I look for Coach Trees here to make a slight adjustment to how they're treating that zone offense. They're getting it past half court because that's like there, as you can see, the side is open in 3/4. With that 2-1-2 there's a weakness in it, especially if you're not going to trap super hard and adjust appropriately. Nice double down in the corner there. Out to Graybold on the wing. Burkholz on her. Back on top. 8 on the shot clock. Now, they've had way too many instances where they have had shot clock violations. There's an errant pass. And Reiser's going to put this one up, and that's going to be a shot clock violation again. So that'll be the 13th turnover by the Raiders. There's a dump down. That was intercepted. Nice job there on Valley. I'm guessing how the pass is going to go. That's a little skip pass. Probably should be a. Oh, that's a hold right there. Yep. That's an easy one to call on Reiser. That's going to be her second personal. Team's second of the quarter. Had she not done that, as Walding checks in, Farr would have easily stolen that one and probably scored. Back out to Farr. They're looking down below as a pass into Burkholz. Gets it. Oh, nice little English on that ball. They're off the backboard. So give Farr the assist. Dogs gets it, brings it up the floor. Pass back to a little indecision there, but it was to Valley. Oh, a little shuffle pass by Cazares. On the shot clock, 3-point shot. That's grabbed finally by Abby Nyland here. She'll bring it up, kick it up to Walding on the side. Crossover to Farr. Farr will put up a 3-point shot, and that's good. That's going to be the 5th three of the evening here for the Muskies, as they're now 5 of 9. Which is good for 55%. And I'm sure that pass is too easily stolen by Megan Will. It's a pretty clean second quarter here. Quick moving game so far. Burkholz looking down for Will. And kind of mishandles it, but still able to put it in for 2 to give Burkholz the assist. Right now, as a team, the Muskies have 10 assists. Nice crossover, and that's going to be foul number 2 on Megan Will. And checking in for the Muskies is Amanda Majewski. Oh, not yet. They got to shoot the free throws. All right, now they can come in. Morgan Zeno's going to check in Amanda Majewski and Casey Gardner. And at the line to shoot a pair of free throws here is Amy Reiser. She comes in 11th in the conference, shooting 71%. Nothing but net. And it looks like there's a Raider at the scorer's table to check in for her. All right, and indeed checking in for her is Wendy Guan. Walding's going to take that one all the way in. A little hard off the glass. Zeno gets the rebound. Can't put it back in. Valley gets it. Kicks it up to Dogs. Now to Guan. Back to Valley. She's going to, for 3, that's a little hard off the back heel. And Gardner gets that. .75 seconds here to go in the half. Zeno looks to kick it down, kicks out to Gardner. That's just a little off. And Majewski is in there mixing up, can't come down with it as Valley gets it. I'm sorry, Dogs. She's a little bit short on that one. Walding grabs that, gives it up to Gardner. Gardner's going to slow things up here just a tad, use a little bit of clock. Oh, nice hesitation there, moved by, I think that was slightly tipped by a Raider. Let's say a nice hesitation tip, or step by Majewski. Walden grabs it. She gets out to Gardner. Shot clock is off. 18 seconds to go in the half. And Coach Nestor's going to call a 30-second timeout or sub last second opportunity. You know, they got a commanding lead, and you probably think, while you're doing that well, you're always working for the next game, and you want to make sure everyone's on the same page as Janai Farr checks back in. You know, and once again, you know, their next game is against CUW. And they were victorious at CUW back on December 3rd of 2019. They won 62-54, but nonetheless it's a key matchup because CUW is ahead of them in the conference standings right now. Okay. This ball being bounded on by the scores table by Farr. She'll probably give it up to Gardner. Ten seconds. You see the action going. Walding at the high post. And she had two options there. Give it to Zeno. Zeno was kind of covered. Put it up. Missed a shot, but that's how it's not a bad looking play. She had a couple options on that one, so I can live with that. So at the half, Muskies are lead 41-18. Come back in about 10 minutes, and we'll take a quick look around the rest of the conference as well as give some halftime statistics. welcome back, everybody. About 4 minutes left here to go in the half. Muskies are out warming up, so waiting on the Raiders to emerge in their locker room. But let's take a quick look around the rest of the conference. One scores in. Aurora has defeated Mount Mary 81-46. And at the halftime of the other games that are reporting right now, Wisconsin Lutheran leads Ben U 22-15. Which is a key game as Wisconsin Lutheran is to keep pace with Edgewood, try and get that second seed. And if that score were to hang on through the whole second half, that would be Venue's first loss in the conference. Still remain alone on top, though. Speaking of Edgewood, they are up on Dominican 38-22. And in a tight one, Alverno leads Illinois Tech by 2, 32-30. Nothing being reported from Marion Rockford as of yet, but we'll check back later in the half. Maybe near the third quarter, end of the third quarter or the fourth quarter. But in our game here at the Moose, the Muskies lead 41-18. Leading all scorers is Janai Farr with 12 points. Megan Will leads all players with 7 rebounds. Leading the Raiders is Michaela Doggs with 6 points. And they have 2 tied up 4 rebounds apiece. And that would be Danielle Valley and Michaela Doggs. From a team standpoint, the Raiders shot 6 of 23 for 26%, 2 of 9 from beyond the arc for 22%, and 4 of 6 from the line for 67%. Did commit 15 turnovers, however, and the Muskies capitalized on that by turning those into 21 points. They did out-rebound the Muskies by 4, garnering 21. And they did have 6 assists as a team. Now for the Muskies, they shot 16 of 34 from the floor for 47%, 5 of 9 from beyond the arc for 55%, and 4 of 7 from the free throw line for 57%. Committed just 5 turnovers. As I mentioned, we've had 21 points off of those 15 turnovers by the Raiders, as here come the Raiders. Had 17 total rebounds. Had another outstanding 2 factors here. They had the bench produced 24 points for the Muskies compared to just 3 for the Raiders. And they also had 22 points in the paint, as it's obvious they are looking to feed it inside to any one of the 3 main post players, 4 post players that is, for the Muskies when they're in the game. 6 fast break points, 7 steals, and 10 assists. Now the Muskies did come in averaging 13 assists per game, so they're well on pace to surpass that. All right, both teams' respective benches. Nobody any really foul trouble. Lexi Maruga has 2, and Amy Reiser has 2 for the Raiders. Meanwhile, Megan Will has 2 for the Muskies. So starting the second half for the Raiders, we're going to have Reiser, Guan, Graybold, Valley, and Dogs. And they're going to have the ball first. For the Muskies, it's going to be Nyland, Gardner, Majewski, Will, and Burkholtz. All right, Graybold inbounds. She gets the ball back. Nice baseline drive there, kicking out to Guan for 3. In and out, long rebound. Gardner tracks it down. It's going to feel the Raiders. You're not going to get everything all at once. Just chip away at it little by little. And for the Muskies, you can't let this one slip away like they did the other day. And there's another nice pass in the post area. Would have liked a little more air underneath that one, but it works. Give Gardner the assist and Will the bucket. Dogs kicks over to Guan. Into the high post area, out to Graybold. Back to Guan on top. The Raiders do not shoot a lot of threes. At least have not made a lot of threes in the season. And, yep, they're going to call, I think, Will over the back on that one. Whoa. Okay. Not Will. It's going to be on Mieski. Her first. Team's first of the quarter. Little set play there. 3 by Dogs just off. Will gets that board, gives it to Gardner. She passes up the right side of the floor to Mieski. Down low to Burkholz. That had a little too much air underneath it. A little too deep. So unforced turnover by the Muskies. So Gardner's always looking for that next steal opportunity. Plenty of time there as the Raiders get it across. Reiser kicks it back up to Dogs, out to Guan. Oh, nice working around the horn there. Into the short corner for Graybold for 2. Nice ball movement by the Raiders. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that Coach Trees would emphasize at the half. Better ball movement side, top side. Reiser brings it up the floor. Not intimidated by Gardner in the attempted steal there. Not even a fake steal, call it. Just to slow her down. And, oh, Mieski just kind of fell down there. And Burkholz tips it over to Will. And little spin moves, and Mieski's going to go to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. And that foul is going to be on Dogs. Her first, team's first. And we got Janai Farr checking in for Abby Nyland. Nothing but net in the first one for Amanda. Gets that one to rattle in for 2. And subbing in for her is number 14, Walding. Dogs back to Guan. They're looking in the high post area, possibly towards. And up and in is Reiser. Walding squares up, kick it out to Will. In the free throw area for 2 points. We have Walding the assist. Dogs looking down low as Reiser was cutting through. Reiser will shoot that one. Hits from the short corner on the left-hand side. Have some substitutions next dead ball. Walding drives, tries to thread that needle there into Will. It's intercepted by the Raiders. Oh, a nice bounce pass up to Graybold. Back out to Valley, back up to Graybold now. As Reiser's posting in the high post area. They're going to take it right to Will. Oh, it kicks out to Graybold for 3, just a bit off. Will picks that up, missed shot. Walding, back out to Will. She'll kick it back out to Gardner. Will set things up again. Almost 4 minutes elapsed here in the third quarter. Farr for 3. She's been on fire the last couple of games. All of her points are off a 3-point try, so she now is 15 on 5 of 5 from beyond the arc. And in the right spot at the right time is Amy Reiser for that offensive rebound and putback. Raiders come up with that miscue. I'm sorry, folks, Janai Farr is 4 of 4 from beyond the arc. And that bucket is good. That's going to be on Megan Will, her third. As the substitution was for her. So checking in for the Raiders, number 50, Alyssa Cazares. And for the Muskies, 54, Ellie Felsinger. And 40, Morgan Zeno. That one rattles off for Reiser. This is a good job boxing out that time. Walden kicks across court to Farr. She's going to a little drive and go. Little dipsy-do, puts it in for 2. Nice wing drive there. I mean, it's good defense, but she just had the moves. Quote Spike Lee, it must be the shoes. The old Air Jordan commercials. And Cazares picks that up. Kicks it out to Reiser. And a nice little baseline drive there. Power move by Reiser to put it in for 2. Zeno gets trapped in the high post area there. Almost loses it. Gardner's in the right place. The right time picks it up. Tries to give it back to Zeno. It's intercepted by the Raiders. Grable brings it up. Looking over at the side court here. Passing up the floor. And nice job maintaining that for Dogs. Gives it to a teammate. And back out to Dogs in the corner. And nothing but net for 3 from the left corner. Still a 19-point lead for the Muskies. Just under 4 minutes here to go in the third quarter. Walding drives, takes a little drives. Nice little rhythm shot off the dribble. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout here by Coach Nestor. I see him pointing down towards the defensive end. So he's going to have to do the defensive effort a little bit as Wendy Guan checks back in for MSOE. Any coach knows, yeah, it's good to score, but defensively is where you got to really put the rubber to the road and do things at that end of the court. Especially after what happened that last game. As I mentioned in the pregame, the Muskies blew a 15-point fourth quarter lead. So Guano inbound to Graybold. So the Muskies are going to keep that press on. It's really hard traps this time with that 2-1-2 as they have 2 bigs in the game. And that time, Reiser just kind of faked herself out. Graybold drives in. Zeno grabs it. Hands it off to Gardner. Looking down to Felsinger. Felsinger got good position that time. With a little bit of the body, Cazares will pick up her first foul, team second. Felsinger did a nice job using her body to steal off that defender and hit a power move. Just kind of lost it on the power move. But she will get 2 shots. Comes in shooting 73%. Makes them both. She'll head back and defend that basket. Good job by Zeno on the attempted drive by Guan. Now Reiser's got it, kicks it back on top to Graybold. She'll dribble over to the left side of the floor. 8 on the shot clock. Guan kicks it back. And there's a nice looking long two by Samantha Brown, who checked into the game at timeout. Give Guan the assist. And Farr is still feeling it. Gardner, another assist. That is 5 of 5 from deep for Janai Farr. And Gardner has her 4th or 5th assist. Once again, she came in averaging 3.9 per game, which was good for a 3rd in the conference. And they're going to call Zeno on that one, I think, as she jumped into the MSOE defender, or offensive player. So that's her first foul, team's 3rd. And checking in for the Raiders, number 34, Danielle Valley. For the Muskies, number 1, Abby Nyland, number 14, Haley Walding, and number 33, Kylie Burkholtz. 20 seconds on the shot clock, so plenty of time. Reiser comes out, that gives it back to Guan, out to Graybold. 10 on the shot clock now. Step back shot, and Reiser, I'm going to say his last touch by Burkholtz as she tipped it out of Reiser's hands. So 2 seconds on the shot clock. Raiders have not had a shot clock violation this half. It's got to be a quick catch and shoot. There's a shoot by Guan. And Zeno tips it to herself. Gives it up to Nyland, who bring up the middle of the floor. Now shading more towards the left-hand side. Out to Majewski. Walding for 3, top of the key. Just a bit off. Majewski's going to track that one down and throw it off of Guan's legs. And a heads-up offensive rebound there. Nyland kicks out to Majewski for 3. That's going to be just, oh, she called the bank shot on that one. I heard her yell bank. The bank is open, folks. Under a minute here to go in the 3rd quarter. Raiders looking to answer. A little between the legs there by Guan. Goes up to Graybold, drives in. Nice pass into the post area. And that's going to be a foul on Burkholtz. Her first foul. Team's 4th. They're going to call it on the shot attempt. I didn't see that, but we'll go with it. Valley at the line to shoot a pair of free throws. So there's a 6 second differential between the shot and the game clock. And gets that one to rattle in. Majewski will grab it, give it to Nyland. Look for the Muskies to use as much of the clock as possible here, unless they get a really good opportunity down in the low post area. The drive by Majewski, a nice dish to Zeno. Can't quite get that to drop. Shot clock is off. Cazares picks it up. Guan brings it across the timeline. Trees yells out for 1 shot. Back to Graybold, back to Guan. Someone's got to shoot here. Reiser will shoot it. And that's good for 3. And that's how we're going to end the 3rd quarter. Muskies lead 62-40 after 3. Looks like Maruga's going to check back in for the Raiders. Let's take a quick look around the rest of the conference one last time. Let the old, and looks like Casey Gardner's checking in for the Muskies. All right, iPad is updated. So also at the end of the 3rd, Wisconsin Lutheran leads Ben U by 1, 30-29. early in the fourth. Edgewood is up on Dominican 54-35. Also early in the fourth, Alverno leads Illinois Tech by 5, 50-45. And still no report from Marion and Rockford yet, but that's all we're going to look at as far as the, maybe we'll take one last look later in half if we have time, but otherwise we're going to focus on this game. And also the upcoming games for the Muskies. Saturday we'll have a doubleheader here as we welcome Concordia, Wisconsin to town. And both the men and women hope to get a season sweep of them. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip for the men, 4:15 for the women. And then the key matchup, February 11th down in Aurora. The ladies will square off at 7 p.m. And then on February 15th, it is senior night for both the men and women as we welcome Benedictine University to town. Looking to get some upsets there for both teams. And then they'll finish up February 19th at Illinois Tech. And if things work out the ladies' way, we'll be playing February 26th in the NAC tournament quarterfinals. All right, one more stanza to go. Massey's in a hard drive in. Nice little rhythm shot there from the short corner. Pass up the floor. Gives it back to Graybold. Guan will give it up to Reiser. A nice little pass in the post to Guan. Back out to Graybold. So a nice ball movement here by the Raiders. Maruga puts it in, and that's good. Give Valley the assist on that one. Almost tipped there by Reiser. And the pass from Walding. They're looking down low. There's just nothing there. It's the second one Reiser's got in her hand down. Walding's got to fake a pass to make a pass here. Walding for three. Just off the front iron. Reiser picks it up. She'll bring it up the floor herself. Reiser works it around the horn to Maruga. Down low into Valley. Cross court to Graybold for three. And that one's good. So with that three, the Raiders are now 5 of 19 from beyond there for 26%. And they came in averaging about 25. Burke holds down to Zeno. Zeno puts a counter move on it. Can't quite get that one to drop. Reiser gets it. Oh, she got with a little shuffled her feet there, but officials let that one go. Muskies have had a comfortable lead here pretty much from the end of the first quarter up until now. Always all double digits. Oh, a nice shot fake and drive there by Valley from the left elbow. Once again, if you're the Muskies, these little things are things you need to work on for some key matchups coming down the road in the final week and a half of the season. Oh, nice tip out by Majewski there to Gardner. Shot clock resets to 20. She's going to pull it way out. With the double screen set up here on top. There's a roll, and Zeno for three, just short. Another rebound for Reiser. Quick pass up the floor. This is what did the Muskies in other nights, is those fast break opportunities. You gotta sprint back in transition. You know, and I love the fact that these Raiders are still taking it, working hard out there, looking for little opportunities. So if you're Coach Tree, you got to be happy. And there's a steal by Graybold. And there's a nice block by Gardner. Anticipated that one very well. And checking in for the Raiders, number 10, Michaela Doggs. For the Muskies, number 23, Janai Farr, and number 55, Megan Will. Coach Nestor say, you got to figure it out, ladies. Exactly. You got to transition back. This team is not just going to roll over and just give it to you. And nice interior passing. As the Raiders have cut this down to just a 13-point deficit. There's almost another turnover by the Muskies here. And there's a much-needed three by Miranda Majewski. And the Muskies are now 9 of 17 from beyond the arc for just a hair under 53%. Needed that one. Get a little momentum back here. So really, this is where you got to do it on this floor. And there's a block by Will on Maruga. And she had a nice cut across the body. Yep. And Gardner's going to pull it out and use a little more clock here. Mask gives it back to Farr. Up to the high post area for Will. And Maskey's just off on that one. Reiser gets another rebound. All right, Reiser, that's her 11th rebound. Maskey grabs that one. So Reiser has a double-double this evening with 17 points and 10 rebounds. And that 17 is only second to Janai Farr, who has 20 points. Megan Will also has a double-double with 15 points and 10 rebounds. And Megan Will down low for another 2. Just like that, it's back up to 18. And Coach Trees is going to call a timeout here as Haley Walding and Abby Nyland are checking back into the game for the Muskies. And checking in for MSOE is number 50, Alyssa Cazares. One last look around the rest of the conference here with 5:50 to go. Wisconsin Lutheran now leads Benedictine 40-31. So Mitchell make it interesting. Edgewood also looking to keep pace here. With 5:18 to go, they're up by 21 on Dominican, 62-41. So look for that race to the top to tighten up a little bit more. Especially if Benedictine loses. Which would be their first conference loss of the season. And then Alverno with about 3:20 left to go in that game. Alverno leads Illinois Tech by 7, 60-53. So let's see what Coach Trees drew up here. 20 seconds on that shot clock. Reiser gets it. Out to Grable. Grable dribbles back towards the top of the key. Gives it out to Cazares. Into the middle to Valley. Back out to Cazares. And with the shot clock winding down from the left elbow, Cazares puts it in for 2. Allen to Gardner, out to Farr. Muskies going to discombobulated right now. Back up to Gardner, out to Farr for a deep 3. And that one's good. Well, you want to save some of those for Saturday, but she is 7 for 7 from beyond the arc for 23 points. And give out another assist to a Muskie. The Muskies shooting 10 of 19 from beyond the arc. And they're going to say that's off of a Raider. Walden just got kind of hung up there, so it's going to be tipped out by a Raider. She was looking to dish that pass to Will. There's a pass into Will, a little hook shot, give Nyland the assist. So from a team standpoint, the Muskies have 19 assists, but you know what, the Raiders also have 20 of their own. And there's another unforced turnover. So under 3 here to go with the Moose. I think the Muskies should comfortably win this one, being up by 19. If you just play the clock out and the time of possessions that are available for the Raiders. Nothing there, good job. Working around the horn. Down to 10. And they're going to give it to the hot hand. That one's tipped. And a deep pass out to Maruga. Nice job keeping her pivot foot down. Look for Gray. Oh, I was going to say Grayville could have ripped and won on that one as there was some room. Riser against Will. And they're going to get Will with the body. And that's going to be Megan's 4th foul. Just the first team foul for either team this quarter. So that's pretty impressive to go almost 8 minutes here without a foul on either team. And checking in for Megan is number 40, Morgan Zeno. So look for Megan's night to be done. Valley out to Maruga. Maruga's back into Valley. She gives it up, and that's not a bad decision there. So I'll give Valley the assist and Riser the bucket. Yep. And Grable will commit her first foul and first team foul. With 107 seconds here to go at the Moose. Again, stay tuned after the game. We'll give you a complete stats wrap up for both squads. And then Farr, that's going to be a little bit long. Valley gets up the floor to the Dogs. Dogs out to Graybold. Graybold's going to hang around there trying a little pressure perhaps. So maybe not, okay. Next dead ball, we'll see Wendy Guan checking back in for MSOE. Oh, and that's going to be a jump ball. That will be Raider ball. And here comes Guan. So the Raiders are going to drop to 6-9 in the conference, 6-14 overall. Meanwhile, the Muskies will keep pace with Aurora, going to 9-7 in conference and 9-12 overall. In the hunt for that 6th spot. So they got to take care of business in the upcoming games, though. Oh, a nice job finding the cutter. As Riser gets that one. Give Valley the assist. We're under a minute here to go with the Moose now. Fire cross court to Abby, over to Gardner. She's going to kick it into Morgan Zeno. Little spin, little jump hook, and for 2. Yeah, so we're used to seeing a 2-2-1 type full court press. So it all depends on your personnel in the game. And that one rattles in for Dogs. So shot clock is off, 19 seconds to go. They're just going to run this one out, and the Muskies will be victorious here at home, 76-60. So let's give you that stats wrap up right now. So the Raiders, first for the Raiders. Let me make sure I'm fully updated here. All right, they finished 24 of 56 from the floor for just a hair under 43%. And they are 6 of 21 from beyond the arc for 28.6%, and 6 of 9 from the free throw line for 67%. They committed 18 turnovers, 10 points off of Muskie turnovers, 36 total rebounds, 21 defense, 15 offensive, 9 second chance points, 9 bench points, 24 points in the paint, 2 fast breaks, 2 blocks, 7 steals, and 21 assists. Individually, Britta Gravold finished with 5 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Amy Reiser, 21 points for a team high, 12 rebounds and 1 assist. And Michaela Dogs had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Lexi Maruga had 3 points, 2 rebounds. Michaela Miles, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Samantha Brown, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Wendy Guan, 1 rebound, 5 assists. Danielle Valley, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. And Alyssa Cazares, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Now, for your victorious Muskies, they finished the game 29 of 57 for just a tick under 51%. 10 of 21 from beyond the arc for 47.6%. 8 of 11 from the free throw line for just under 73%. Committed 11 turnovers, had 23 points off of those 18 Raider turnovers. 28 total rebounds, 20 defensive, 8 offensive, 10 second chance points, 41 points from the bench, 32 points in the paint, 6 fast break, 5 blocks, 7 steals, and 20 assists. Individually, Abby Nyland finished with 1 rebound, 2 assists. Amanda Majewski, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Haley Walding, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Casey Gardner, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Janai Farr had a game high 23 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Kylie Burkholtz, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Morgan Zeno, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Ellie Felsinger, 4 points, 2 rebounds. And Megan Will had the double-double for the Muskies tonight, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists. Once again, our next broadcast will be this Saturday as we welcome CUW into town. Men tip off at 2, women at 4:15. And looking forward to it. On behalf of Nathan and myself, thank you and have a great night.